Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So I've got some fabrication jobs I want to get done this week. There's 3 different jobs I need to get done. But before I start on that, I've got this Ford TW25 in it, needs a new exhaust elbow on it. So I need to get this done first. You can see there, she's got a big rotten hole in the exhaust. So there's a new exhaust elbow to go on. But it's just whether that bolt will come out without snapping. I've also been cutting a load of these out as well for everyone that bought one on Sunday. So yeah, if you're watching this now, you should have yours by now. Unless you're in America. There's 5 that are going to America, so they'll take a bit longer to get there. But yeah, everyone else, by the time you're seeing this, you should have yours. So yeah, we'll try and get this off first. I warmed it up at the back. It won't come undone. And I've also warmed the bolt up itself. Sometimes breaks the rust free. It's turned a little bit, but I think it's just the head that's going to snap off. We'll keep turning it backwards and forwards, till it either comes undone or it snaps off. Yeah, so it just snapped off. Right, so that's that off. So there's a V-band clamp that holds that on to the end of the turbo. And then 2 bolts there, and then the exhaust clamps on the top. So hopefully that new one should be the same. And then that just clamps onto there, onto the V-band. I think the turbo seems alright. Bit of rust and stuff in the bottom of it. No wobble in it. Just wants a bigger one on. So yeah, well, I think we'll have to drill that out because it looks like it's now part of the manifold. It looks like it's that rusted in. So I think I'll grind it flat, centre punch it, and then just drill it and tap it, re-drill it and tap it back out again. Actually, before I go to the hassle of drilling and tapping it, I might just try the old trick of welding a nut on the end and then get this bit hotter and see if it'll come out. So I've just sort of drilled and chamfered the back of that nut out a little bit so it fits over there nice. Now some people weld the washer on first and then a nut onto the washer, but I'm just going to weld that onto there. And then, yeah, get that bit nice and hot. Yeah, no, we'll just grind it off and drill it out. It's not going to come out. think we managed to keep pretty much in the centre. So that was, well, I went through with a 3mm to start with, and then I went 6.5 just to see whether I was in the middle or not. And now I think I'll go through with an 8.2 to tap it out to a 10mm M10. Right. Right, so that's that drilled and tapped to M10 now. I heard a bit of a crack on it. It's actually cracked across the top of there, but it shouldn't affect it. All it's doing is holding the, a bracket to hold the elbow on, and there's another bracket there anyway. So yeah, that's that. That green stuff I was using is anchor lube. So Mike, who is a long-time subscriber, is the UK distributor for this. I know I've told you before, but he saw in my last video that was about empty, so he sent me a top-up. So yeah, thanks to Mike. If you're after some of this, if you go on eBay and just type in anchor lube, if you're in the UK, it'll be Mike's listing that comes up because he's the UK distributor for it. So yeah, it's definitely good stuff. Clean that flange up as well. It was a bit rusty. I've cleaned up there and then chiseled some of that rust out on the inside because there's like a shoulder that sits into there on the new one. So yeah, good to put that one back on now. There's a bit of a shoulder that sits into the turbo. The exhaust back on. It actually fit pretty well, did that for a replacement part. Sometimes replacement parts don't always fit that well, but that fits spot on. And then the straight pipe back on again. So that's all sorted now. I have had this tractor in before. I did a video on it. I did the front hub seal on this side. New hub seals. Was it on this side? I think so, yeah. New hub seals, and then the shaft that the seals seal onto was worn, so I had to build them back up. It's not leaking anyway, so my repair must have worked. Yeah, that's that done. I'll take that out and get on to the next job. So we've got a little fabrication job to do this afternoon. It wasn't a job that was on the list, but the customer says they need it sort of as soon as possible. So it's a nice little job for me to do this afternoon. So he's brought some steel in, and I'll show you what's to make. So he's putting like a thumb on his digger, and he wants a bracket making that welds onto the boom that holds like the linkage for the thumb itself. So when I say thumb, it is like literally a thumb that goes onto the boom, and then when you crowd your bucket round like that, it comes in against the thumb and you can pick stuff up with it. So yeah, a bit like that. So you bucket, and then this is the bracket, sort of like what I'll be making. And then he's brought the link that joins onto it. So then there'll be 3 holes in it in 3, so you can have it in 3 fixed positions, depending on how wide or how far you want to be going with the bucket before you're grabbing onto stuff. And this is the link that he's brought for it, so I can get a measurement off the pin size. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be making. Nice and simple. There'll be 2 of them plates, one at that side, welded on, and then rounded that round, sort of when you weld it on, it's not a straight weld across. I've seen them crack across there before if you just weld them straight across. The base plate out of that, that's wider than it needs to be anyway. When he wants to be 8 inches wide, he says to weld onto his boom. And then these will be the side plates. So I have to plasma some holes in here. And I haven't got, it's a 70mm pin. I don't have a drill or a reamer 70mm. So I'll plasma the holes out first, and then I'll put it on the milling machine and just go through with the boring head to get them out to 70mm. So that'll be to cut in half, and then corners to round off as well. Get that set up, and then cut that first, and then do the other bit. So that's that bit cut out. Just wants cleaning up now. So this bit, we'll start by cutting it in half, and then I'll have to mark again, line it up where the centre is to cut the 3 holes in it. Then I'll try and cut the little corner off as well with the CNC plasma. I can't take any off the width of it because it's already the width it needs to be. It's 150mm. Yeah, it's 150 by 15. It'd been easy if I could have taken a bit off the width, because then I could have cut the whole thing out from scratch, but I can't, so I'm going to have to... Well, I'll try and do it with the plasma, if not I'll just do it by hand. Right, so that's that one done. There's a bit to trim off there. Well, quite. It's a little bit longer than what it's supposed to be. Well, than what I measured it is, a few mil. So there's a bit to trim off there and a bit to trim off there. It probably would have been quicker and easier for me to start from fresh with a bigger bit of steel rather than trying to line up off this, but that's what the customer supplied, so that's what he wants me to use. So we'll do the same with that one now. We'll just line it up off there, centre mark it, line the torch up, and then cut the 3 holes and the corners off. So that's the second one done. Yeah, that was a lot quicker, to be fair. That only took about 5 minutes to do the holes and the corners, so yeah, that's saved time. First one took a bit of doing, or a bit of setting up to get it in the right place for them, but once I got that set up, it was easy enough. So yeah, we'll clean them up, tack them together, then we'll put them on the milling machine and run the boring head through and bore them out to 70 mil. That's all clamped on there now. So I use my edge finder to find the middle of this hole, and then I know what my distance is between there and there from when I drew the pattern in CAD. So then I'll just use my DRO to move on the right amount from there to there. Right, so that's them 3 bored through. So the middle one is not cut very nice, but I got that one set to 70mm, and then I went to that one and then just bored that straight through, same as what it was set out for the middle, and then same with that one. And then this one I've just done another spring pass through it, and it's taken a little bit more out, so I think I'll go back to that one and just take another like sort of clear run through it, because it's a little bit tight as that one. It's not quite cut out all the way around the hole, but it'll be alright for what it is. So yeah, I'll go back to that one and do a spring cut through there. I've got this set up on the bench now. It's the first time I've actually used these like fixtures. So yeah, I've got them on there, so I know that the bottom plate is going to be parallel, and then I've got these set up for the pin, so then the pin is pushed up against them. I suppose I could clamp them to them if need be. So I know that the bottom plate and the pin are both square, and then I've just measured my spacings. I need 145mm in between there, because the other bit that goes in there is 140mm. So we should be good at that. So I put a few tacks on there, and then I think I'll weld some bits across here to stop that splaining or out when I weld it. It probably will do a little bit, but there should be enough tolerance on the holes to allow a bit of twist. Right, so that's that tacked up there, and I've got them welded across the top. Pin fits nice in all 3 holes. So hopefully it'll fit nice once it's welded up. They're a bit chattery, some of them where it's cut. I need to get some better boring bars from the dividing head. not dividing head, what do you call it, boring head. Yeah, so we'll get that welded up. Right, so that's all welded up now. Just needs to cool down. So I'll leave them on until it's cooled down and then I'll chop them off. Hopefully it won't move too much. So yeah, while it's cooling down, I need to drill this pin. The customer has supplied this bit of pin, but it's induction hardened chrome bar. It's not just normal chrome bar, which means it's going to be difficult to drill. So I've tried to centre mark it there, centre punch it, and it's just sort of blunting my centre punch. So I think I haven't got any carbide drills like what you're supposed to use to drill it. So I think what I'll do is I'll heat up a spot there to soften it, and then if I can do the same on the opposite side, heat that up and soften it, and then hopefully I could be able to drill it then. It needs drilling for the bolt to stop it coming out. Now I've cut that collar, I'll weld that collar onto the other end. I'll have to wait for that to cool down as well now. Yeah, hopefully that should have made that spot soft now. Same on the other side, and then drill right through. I think I'll drill it through for 16mm, 16 bolt. Right, so that's that bits of box chopped off. That pin fits. So I'd be lying if I said I didn't have to heat straighten it a little bit. They did bow in a little bit too much, so I had to turn it upside down, and then I ran heat down the inside, like on the bottom where that where that inner weld is on both sides. And anyway, that's made it fit nice now. That other linkage is 140mm, so there's a couple of mil spare, so that should fit in there nice. So that's that bit sorted. So yeah, we'll try and drill this pin now then. I've centre punched it and I can actually mark it now I've made it soft. So hopefully that should drill nice and easy. so that's a pin drilled all the way through. I've squared the end off and put a chamfer on it, chamfered that end. So the last thing to do now is just to weld that collar on the pin like that. Somewhere like that, I would have said. Right, so that's that done. So that's that link into there, fits nice and tight. And then he's going to weld, I think, well, I don't know who's going to weld it onto his digger for him, but he just wanted that bit making, so yeah, that's that done. Holes are a little bit chattery, but just need some better tools, I think, or something for me boring head. But no, that was a nice little afternoon job. I've got another job to do now that I didn't intend on doing this week, but they rang up and said they need it, so yeah, I'll get it done so they can have it back. So it's on this JCB, so you'll have seen this before. This has been in a video before where I altered the thing on the front to make it fit onto the quick hitch that it's now got on it. So what that does is it picks up telegraph poles, electric poles like that with a grab on the front, and then you pick them up and then it turns them on their end like that, and then it lowers them up over that, like over the top of the cab, and there's a frame at the back of the cab, and the telegraph poles sit on that frame and are held in a grab at the front, so then they drive them to wherever they need to be and then lower them down into the hole. The trouble is now, because it's got brackets on it rather than that red thing being fastened straight onto the front of the digger with pins, yeah, the geometry must be slightly different. So now when they pick the pole up, it doesn't sit onto that frame at the back. It doesn't go down far enough. So there's a bit of steel making a V shape on the top of there that I need to cut off, cut a new one out, and then weld it on. So it's a nice simple job, but little job, it just needs doing. So before I bring that into the workshop, I'll fetch a bit of plate round, a bit of 20mm plate, and we'll plasma a new triangle out that's bigger than the one that's on it. Yeah, you can see that sort of V shape on the top of there is not tall enough. So I need to chop that one off, cut a new one out and weld it on. Nice simple job. The only thing is it's quite high. So that's that quickly drawn up. So as usual, to draw that I'm using Onshape. Now Onshape is a professional 3D CAD system. If you're interested in using it, you can sign up at onshape.pro/snowball engineering. You sign up for free and have a go. Everything you see me cut out with this machine is drawn with Onshape. So I'll get that cut out. I've got some 20mm sat on there now. I've been dressing some of these up this morning as well and packaged them up. I've sent 12 out this morning. I've still got the rest to clean up, but I've run out of cardboard packaging them in, so should be coming tomorrow, so I'll get the rest sent out tomorrow. So that's that cut out. Give it a clean up, knock the dross off the back, and then get a bit of clean up with the grinder. That's what it looks like before you clean it up. So it's cut that really nice. So yeah, we need to chop the old one off the top of there now. So I think I'll get the man basket on our JCB and work out the man basket, I think. I'll put the ladder up against the side of it and then I can get into the man basket by the ladder and then work out of that. So I think to weld that on, I'm going to use this little jasig. This little jasig has inner shield wire in it, Lincoln inner shield wire, which is like a gasless wire, which saves me having to run a gas pipe up there because I've only got that gas bottle. I need to get a longer gas pipe really, but I've only got sort of two little short extensions, so I'd have to get that gas bottle out, drag it all the way over to there, connect it up. I think I'll just use that, I think, for easiness. So everyone usually slates gasless wire, but if you buy the good stuff like that, it's, I can't remember how much it was now, it was like 100 quid for a 5 kilo roll. So it's fairly dear stuff, but it is pretty good. It's just like stick welding, but with a MIG. So to protect the back window, well, I was thinking I could open it, but it still like sort of sticks out the back of the cab for when I'm welding. I don't want to be getting weld splatter on the window. So I have a bit of plywood there. I'm thinking if I just put that on the man basket, lift it up and slide that onto the roof, and then have that sticking out a bit. I could do with some proper weld blankets for stuff like this, but I haven't got any yet. So yeah, we'll use that bit of plywood, I think. And then when I knock that bit off, I don't want to knock it off and then drop it on the window and smash the window. So that bit of plywood will also stop it dropping down, hopefully. Yeah, so that bit of plywood works great. Stops any sparks dropping down through there. So there isn't much holding it on. There's only 5 bits of weld either side that holds it on. So I'll just chop them off with a slitting disc in the grinder, I think. That's the old one off. I don't know what I painted it with. If I had painted it with some real stinky paint, or it's creosote that's run off the new poles down underneath. So that's that welded on now. I've just sort of stitch welded it on the same as it was before, because there isn't much that way force on it, it's mostly down, just weight sat on it. And that's what the welds look like afterwards. It leaves like a slag on the weld. So I'll clean them up and show you what they look like afterwards. It is a bit like stick welding but with a MIG. And then that's the other side. And then that's what they look like after they're cleaned up. Now a little bit of porosity in the middle there, because like the bit that gets stuck on the end broke off and ended up in a weld, and it's made a little bit of porosity. But the rest of them are spot on. You always get people slating gasless wire saying, no, it's rubbish, but if you buy the good stuff, it's pretty good. It saves a lot of hassle having to bring a gas bottle up here or run a pipe down to a gas bottle. So the reason why I got it was for outside jobs, but I don't really do many outside jobs. And the only thing is you've got to have a welder that will run reverse polarity, so the earth is positive and the wire is the negative. I was running in up 19 volts, 19.5 volts and 5 meters a minute wire speed. It's a good little welder is that as well, I like that little chassis. A bit more basic than the other one that I got, but it's still good. It's nice to use and it runs nice. I did actually buy that one myself, I didn't get it given like I did with the other one. So that bit there, I'm not going to grind it back out because it's not really worth the time doing it. It would rip the box section before it broke the welds, so for the sake of a little tiny bit of porosity in the middle, it's not worth grinding it out. So yeah, I'll paint that with red oxide and then I'll paint it with black. Alright, so that's that done then, all painted. Should be strong enough. There'll be a bit more force on it now that they've been taller, but like I say, there shouldn't be any force that way, it's all just sat on it, and poles are not that heavy anyway, I don't think. So that should do. I'll pull my bit of plywood back onto here again, and then get everything taken out. I love having a little play about on diggers. Tempted to dig a hole, but I think I'd get in trouble if I dug a hole. It's not easy driving with one hand either. It's pretty cool when you want to be the other way around, you just spin your whole chair around. Right, so I think I'll make that do for this week's video because it's Thursday afternoon now and I really want to go to Welding Steam Rally tomorrow. So yeah, I need time to get this video edited and it's like a 4-hour drive down to Welding. So yeah, I want to be setting off a good time tomorrow. So that was a few of the smaller jobs ticked off the list. Wasn't really the jobs I wanted to get done, but I'll get them done next week. So yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time.